Hello, I am Abigail Huff, and I'm going to be talking to you about wounds and nutrition today. I did my community assessment on Montgomery County, which we're going to put in this blue oval here, and I did my clinicals with St. John's Regional Wound Care Center, and you can see some overlap there. To tell you about Montgomery County, it has a high level of obesity and vascular disease, which of course is one of the major contributors to difficult to heal wounds. My community diagnosis I focused on was a risk of slow healing wounds among patients in the wound care clinic due to a lack of nutritional support for wound healing. And there's several reasons. Sorry, there's a train going by. If you hear that, for lack of nutritional support. One, there wasn't a lot of education in the clinic about nutrition for wounds. Two, much of Montgomery County residents live in a food desert. And third, there were some nutritional supplements like Juven that the providers used to talk about and recommend, but insurance is often denying them, and they were having trouble also with supply issues for those since COVID. This diagnosis goes along with the Healthy People 2030 goal to improve health by promoting healthy eating and making nutritious foods available. In improving nutritional access and support, I broke it down into two short-term goals and one long-term goal. My first short-term goal was education, to get good educational information that was easy to understand and utilize for the patients. My second goal was to increase access and awareness to nutritional supplements, and that's both for the patients and the providers. And then my third goal was to expand the reach of goals 1 and 2, not just to this area, but long-term goals to get that stuff into Quad County Home Health and also Healogics Wound Center, which both also serve Montgomery County. Improving nutritional education and access, I felt like we needed many strategies. It's a very multifaceted issue. So here are things that I wanted to do. We're going to go over each one of these and how each one went. First off, nutritional educational handout. I was super excited to find this one. Made at a low literacy level, easy to read, made by a dietitian, can be reproduced for free to be given out to patients. I know it's really small and hard to see, but it went over several key things that were important to the provider. Calories, protein, and fluid, which lots of nutritional handouts talked about protein, but then also the vitamins A, C, and then zinc. That was something a lot of nutritional handouts did not give examples of foods that fall in that the provider felt was very important. And then a reminder that if they had diabetes, how important it was to keep their blood sugar in check to help the wound heal. This was just an excellent nutritional handout. I was super pleased to be able to find for the office and give them because they didn't have anything for education on nutrition and wounds for their patients. The next thing was obtaining free samples for the clinic. I'm happy to say we were able to get them in touch with some free samples for Expedite, which is a competitor of Juven. Third, I made a handout that helped patients and providers be aware of the cost, the ingredients, and the payment options for the various supplements. And interestingly, all of them end up being about the same price when you look at the amount of stuff in them, but Juven can be bought with SNAP or EBT dollars. That's still a big barrier because of the cost and the amount of EBT that most people get, but that was an interesting distinguishment for that one. I was also able to connect the providers with information about insurance coverage for Juven specifically. They have a Pathways Plus Services website, and it gives a lot of support for providers and patients in getting access to Juven and navigating the hoops of that. A much more difficult route to get supplements into patients' hands was to apply for grants. And I did apply for a $25,000 Gladys Brooks Foundation grant. Doubt it will get covered. They're still waiting to hear, but we were able to try that for them. I was able to talk with this organization, which is a nonprofit that serves our area. They were interested at first. They thought about it, but ultimately they came back and said, no, this probably isn't something we have the money to do. But it at least hopefully showed that there is a possibility that grants could help fund this. With this project, what went well was it was really rewarding to find stuff that would help them, to find that really good nutrition handout and get it into their hands, to get a hold of some samples for them, to help them learn about some different nutritional supplements that were competitors of Juven that maybe they didn't know about. What was frustrating though was, one, my chosen community, Montgomery County, and the location of my clinical site. I really thought there was a lot more overlap. I thought that this wound center was connected with St. John's and they worked in tandem because this one's inside a sister hospital, but they're not. This is a nonprofit and this is a for-profit. And that definitely changes how things are run and makes it a little harder to make what goes on in this population get moved over here. So that was definitely a barrier. The local nonprofit not being interested in helping was a barrier. And then really we didn't make much progress in getting nutritional supplements covered. Only in rare instances is insurance covering these supplements. So yeah, I think we helped, but it wasn't a big dent. So that is what we've learned about winning the war on wounds. I hope this was interesting to you and helpful. I enjoyed completing it and learning more about nutrition and wounds and how we can help people with that.